Automation and system. And now you're like 90 days into owning this thing, couple months in, you're like, you know what? Like, I really need to get in there and like understand this software. And I really need to take advantage of it. I need to use this software with all that it offers. And then stage 4, the final stage, right? And the final stage is automation and systematizing. Okay. Automation and system. And now you're like 90 days into owning this thing, couple months in, you're like, you know what? Like, I really need to get in there and like understand this software. And I really need to take advantage of it. I need to use this software with all that it offers, because the softwares nowadays, I mean, they really offer a lot of stuff that you can do depending on the software. You know, some are better than others or whatever. Some are cheaper, some are more expensive. But you want to get in there and you really want to utilize how much of this can you automate, right? So for instance, can you automate dynamic pricing? Can you automate, like, so price, this is price increases. All right. Can you automate auctions? Can you automate tenant insurance? Tenant insurance. Can you automate like mailing like letters and stuff, or mailing letters, price increases or whatever you do? Can you automate emails? Okay. So you're getting in there and you're trying to automate everything as much as you possibly. There's like a ridiculous amount of stuff that you can automate in the softwares, but you want to get that all set up. And really the first like couple months that you own a storage facility, you're trying to really get you're trying to get the tenants into the system and get their contract signed. So it's hard for you to really kind of get into the nitty gritty of setting everything up. On the basics here, you have to set you set up the basics in the software. All right, you set up the basics, right? So you're going to have to put your unit mix in and your unit sizes and get your facility map set up and like this kind of stuff. That's really in stage 3, because that's when you have access to the software and you can get in there and start playing around with this. So you set like really the basics up while you're trying to get the tenants in and get all their contract signed and their payment information and stuff. Okay. So that's kind of what you do. And then after a couple of months, you're like, okay, I'm kind of sort of like, I've got like 80-90% of my tenants in. I'm kind of getting the hang of it. I'm answering the calls. I can kind of, have a script, or I have VAs training. I have a boots on the ground going. Let me really get in and just create some systems, some maintenance systems, do you want to set my pricing up? Is it going to increase in certain times and periods or whatever? And then how am I going to automate my auction process? Can I do that online, or do I have to do that manually? Can I automate any emails or text message reminders, right? It's text. Right? In my software, do they offer this or not offer this? Some softwares offer this, some softwares don't and stuff. All right. So you want to just, whatever software that you use, you want to utilize it to as much as you possibly can. Because the truth is like when I buy facilities, or when my students buy facilities and they actually have a software that they're using, then I would say like 80% of the time, most owners are only really using the software to like put their tenants in. And then they're manually, if they want to go do a price increase, they're manually increasing those prices. But you really don't want to do that. You really want to automate that. You could set that up so that it's really kind of just managing itself. And you want to make sure that you find a software that you could do that. I mean, because, there's like, very basic softwares to like, amazing good ones that can automate everything. And so you just have to figure out like, how much do I really want to automate? Do I want to get in there and do this stuff myself? Or do I want to have it just like where I could set it up and it just does it itself? Okay. Some people are different or whatever, but that's really it. Now also, and then this is going to take you about 90 days, right? And then also, so during this stage is when you're like, you know what? I feel like I can kind of just get out there and look for another storage facility. Like I can really focus. Like, yeah, I've been looking and I've been seeing wholesale posts or whatever, but I really want to get out there and find a facility. I'm at that point now. And so then you can find another facility. All right. And then that whole process starts again. Okay. That whole process starts again. And then you're going back and then you're starting to get out there, build your list, talk to owners, call them, etc. Okay. So that is the 4 stages. I can put this here, 4 stages of finding a storage facility and getting it under contract, owning it, buying it. That's really what you want to go through. Okay. Now these stages, all these stages here, you can do like one of 2 things. You can, if you need help with this and you want some walkthrough, then you can just get the course and it will walk you through all of this.